Alright guys, by now you guys know that Black Ops 7 is coming out, and going forward we're going to see some changes and what exactly that means for Warzone. We're going to talk about this right now. And if you guys are wondering who I am Astro Boy Hero. I play this game a lot. I am in Wasau currently right now. We are waiting to play LCQ in a couple of days. I am a regional qualifier. I am a top 250 Warzone player, so I play this game at a very high level. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background about who I am and where exactly I am coming from, so that way you guys kind of know a little bit about where I'm coming from. Alright guys, so what we're going to talk about today is the changes that possibly could be happening in Warzone. What we're going to talk about is some of the things that we saw coming up. Obviously we saw a lot from the Call of Duty Direct. We saw a lot of things coming from the campaign itself. But the way that this kind of looks and the way it might look for Warzone is going to be different, obviously. So we do have to wait probably a full season for the integration to come. So when the game comes out, we're still going to be under the Black Ops 6 integration. We have to wait around a full 30-ish days for everything to come out on the season 1, maybe even a little bit more. And that's where we're going to start seeing some more bugs, a lot of things going wrong on the map. It's going to change a whole lot. Now, this has been a problem with Warzone for a long time. I think it's happened since the integration has ever come out, so it's not going to be anything new. Obviously we're going to see exactly how Treyarch is going to handle it this time around. They normally take like 3 months off around this time because it's Christmas time, you know, they go on their holiday break, so the game is in a pretty bad state usually after they drop season 1. So maybe they can right the wrong and maybe they can change a few things along the way, but that is yet to be seen. If you're expecting anything different, I think that you're kind of just fooling yourself at this point, but you never actually know exactly what's going to happen. But that is always something that you're going to look forward to, even if it's a bad thing, is that after season 1, it's not a fully polished game. There's a lot of work they have to do. What they're going to add and what they're going to take away from that are things that we can talk about here, right? They took away tac sprint, and so I wonder exactly if that is going to carry over towards Warzone. I think that on a big map, I mean, we have the tac knife now, so you can whip out your knife whenever and use tac sprint whenever. So if they take away tac sprint from the regular game, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I think on a big map it could definitely have its disadvantages because it is such a big map. You need to move around a lot, and you want to move quickly and obviously fastly. And on a big terrain, it's just going to take longer if you have your gun out. But if you have your knife out, it's going to put you at a disadvantage. So that's something that I wonder if they're going to touch or if they're going to leave for BO7. Usually when they make these movement changes, the movement changes will carry over towards Warzone. I don't think they left anything out this time around. I think in MW3, the Warzone, they had some movement changes that weren't necessarily carrying over to the new COD. Okay, so a couple of other things that they talked about mastery camos, and Warzone is going to be another one where you can get mastery camos. So there is going to be an insane amount of grinding this year. So with your prestige weapons, there's 3 prestiges. There's prestige 1, prestige 2, and prestige 3, which is your prestige mastery. And there's camos to all 3 of those. I think the first prestige will allow you to unlock a attachment slash amp, which is an aftermarket part. I'm not exactly sure. They haven't really said what it's going to be, but it's very specific to each gun, which will be kind of cool. But gatekeeping attachments and different meta variants of this gun could be a lot of work for people who are going to be playing Warzone and people who don't really have necessarily the time. So it's very much going to be an MP grind, it sounds like. But where that puts Warzone people at is you're going to have to put a lot more work in, especially if you don't buy the $70 version and you only play the Warzone free version of the game. For people who love camos and people that like to grind the camos, it's going to be great. There's obviously a lot of things to do. It just makes it a little bit harder for people who don't have the time to grind these guns and grind these camos. So that could be something that definitely could dissuade people from trying to play this game a ton, because as we already know, as of right now, when the new guns come out and the metas are out, people are already so far behind. And even when the new integration comes out, you are going to be insanely far behind if you do not have BO7 out, because not only do you have to level up this gun, you have to prestige this gun again and level it up again to use all the attachments on that said gun. Let's say you don't even want to mastery camo it, but if you want to use the broken attachment on it, you at least have to level the gun up, and then on top of that, you have to level it up again, so just so you can use all the attachments. So it just sounds like it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be very interesting on how that's going to work for Warzone. But with all that being said, with all the weapons coming out, I think they said that there were 16 brand new guns that are going to be out, which is going to be cool. I think we're going to get around 30 or 30 new guns. I hope this time around, especially because it's a Black Ops on Black Ops and it's Treyarch on Treyarch, that maybe we won't lose a lot of the guns that we're using now. I definitely have some favorites that I like that we've been using, some that haven't even come to the surface to become meta. So there's still a lot to look at as far as the Warzone meta and landscape looks like. So it's one thing for them to not touch these guns and let these new guns breathe and become meta, which is fine. But it's another thing to actually nerf these guns, whether it be a visual recoil, too much gun smoke, bad mobility, bad damage, to make it to where they are unusable. I think that that's something that going forward, it would be nice, very nice actually, to see if we could use these BO6 guns and actually have them be viable, which would be an amazing thing to see. And not one COD, I think, has really done this. Maybe by accident they have, where they've accidentally made a gun meta, but intentionally done it to where it's actually good and actually breeds a nice ecosystem for the guns. Okay, so going kind of back to movement, I know we kind of jumping all over the place here, but with that, they did have some wall jumping variants in there, and I think that that would be really cool to see, especially on like a map like Rebirth, or maybe even if it was just a game mode, or even a brand new map that had wall jumping in mind. I know that they say that it's probably not going to make its way to MP and probably won't make its way to Warzone, but I just thought it would be something cool to touch upon real quick, especially with the game being so stale the way it is right now. I think that this would add a different variant and a different life to it, especially if you already have that asset added to the game. It's not like you're adding some clunky variant movement to it. It's something that can actually be used and something that we would maybe like to see going forward. So it's already there. You might as well use it and maybe even make a map for it, even if it's a little playground, if it's a little resurgence map. I think that it would be cool if you had the wall jumps in mind. So some of the other things that I thought were really cool coming out of this was the prestige system is obviously going to be the same. So there's not much going to change there. You're going to have your carry forward. So we're going to have all of our skins, everything else as far as the guns and everything will be the same. They'll be obviously leveled up and all that good stuff. So not a lot of things will change there. And obviously a lot of grinding for the new prestige system, the new camos and the new guns as well. So there's going to be a lot of content to play this time around, and they did say that they were going to add seasonal camos as well. I know I kind of switched over that, but there are so much more camos, and hopefully that means there's going to just be a lot more support afterwards as far as like what we're going to get, rewards and all that good stuff, because it seemed like definitely from MW3 to BO6 there was a very lackluster difference between the two post-launch. And hopefully they can see where they did go wrong, where they didn't go wrong, and learn from their mistakes, which is something that I don't think Call of Duty does very well. But it does seem like they definitely learned from this side, and they're going to give us more camos, which is really dope. I think a lot of the community sentiment was they wanted to see more of these things, and we never really saw them. And hopefully now they're kind of changing their way about it, and we can get a lot more of that going forward. So another thing that we're looking at too is loadout codes. And I know that might not mean a lot to you guys, but for me as being a creator, giving you guys loadouts all the time, giving you a loadout code for my loadout is going to make my life a whole lot easier. I can show you guys a screenshot of the loadout itself, but I can also give you the loadout code, and it makes it easier for you and your friends to actually exchange loadouts instead of having to tell them all attachments. You just give them the code, they enter it, and it'll give you the loadout that they are using. So that makes things a whole lot easier. It's definitely a huge quality of life. You'd love to see things like this, and hopefully they keep adding things more like this. A couple other things that I saw in the video were things like the grappling hook, that wingsuits. Those are a couple other things that I saw that I think that would be really cool to make it over to Warzone. Whether they do or not remains to be seen, but they have them in the game, so I think that they might as well use those assets. And obviously Avalon is also part of all this, so maybe, who knows, that we'll see a new map coming down the road, and maybe even a little bit of a map rotation for big map. I know we had it for small map. I think we should do a small map rotation as well. I don't know where that went, but I think that they could do a big map rotation as well. I think that would be amazing to see. Doesn't have to be all the maps, but definitely one or two. I don't think that they'll bring back maps like Caldera or anything like that, but going forward, obviously Verdansk and Avalon would be really cool. Who knows, guys? But I know that there wasn't a whole lot here to go off of. I just saw things that I thought was cool, and a lot of things that I think that they could add to the game that I think would definitely benefit it. And I saw a couple things obviously that may not benefit it that much, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, keep those post notifications on. Thanks for checking us out, guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.